African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 15th of June, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of troops continue to advance into the depths of the enemy's defense. The manpower and equipment of the 71st Jaeger Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 125th Terrorist Defense Brigade were defeated in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk and Ternivaya, Kharkov region. 7 counterattacks by assault groups of the 36th Marine Brigade and the 13th National Guard Brigade were repelled. Enemy losses per day amounted to up to 350 military personnel, 2 tanks, 3 vehicles, a 122mm D-30 howitzer and 2 Bukovel-AD electronic warfare stations. Units of the West Group of troops occupied more advantageous positions and defeated the formations of the 14th, 63rd, 116th Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 117th Technical Defense Brigade and the 13th Brigade of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Simkavka, Petropavlovka, Kharkov region, Dranovka, Grigorovka of the Donetsk People's Republic and Chervenaya Dybrova of the Lugansk People's Republic. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 495 military personnel, 3 armored combat vehicles and 9 vehicles. In addition, during the counter-battery fight, the following were hit: 2 155mm M777 howitzers made in the USA, a 155mm FH-70 howitzer made in the UK, a 152mm howitzer 2A65 MSTB, a 122mm self-propelled artillery mount 2S1 Vostok, 122mm D-30 howitzer and 122mm Grad MLRS combat vehicle. Units of the Southern Group of Forces improved the situation along the front line and also defeated the manpower and equipment of the 56th Motorized Infantry, 41st Mechanized, 79th Air Assault and 46th Airmobile Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces in the areas of Elizavetovka settlements, Kalinina, Orakovo-Vasilevka, Chasov Yar, Stupachki and Gornyak of the Donetsk People's Republic. A counterattack by the 10th Mountain Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces was repelled. The enemy lost more than 630 troops, an infantry fighting vehicle and 5 vehicles in one day. During the counter-battery fight, the following were hit: 155mm FH-70 howitzer made in Great Britain, 155mm howitzer M777 made in the USA, 155mm howitzer M198 made in the USA, 155mm self-propelled artillery mount S-90 Braveheart made in Great Britain, 152mm self-propelled artillery mount 2S3 Akatsia, 152mm howitzer D-20, 122mm self-propelled artillery mount 2S1 Gvozdika for 122mm howitzers D-30. 2 105mm M119 guns made in the USA, 122mm combat vehicle MLRS Grad, as well as an N/TPQ-37 counter battery station made in the USA. In addition, 3 field ammunition depots of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of troops improved the tactical situation and defeated the formations of the 47th and 110th Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Vozdvizenka, Novoalexandrovka, Voskod, Novopokrovskoye, and Evgenovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. 5 counterattacks by assault groups of the 23rd and 24th Mechanized Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. Enemy losses amounted to up to 320 military personnel, 3 infantry fighting vehicles, 2 cars, a 155mm M777 howitzer made in the USA, 3 152mm 2A65 MSTB howitzers, 3 122mm D-30 howitzers, and a 105mm M102 howitzer made in the USA. Units of the Vostok group of troops occupied more advantageous positions and also defeated the manpower and equipment of the 58th Motorized Infantry Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the 102nd and 125th Terrestrial Defense Brigades, the 21st Brigade of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Novokrinka, Neskany, October of the Donetsk People's Republic, and Gulyai-Pol, Zaporizhzhia region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 140 military personnel, a tank, an armored combat vehicle, 3 cars, 2 Polish-made 155mm Krab self-propelled artillery mounts, and a 152mm 2A65 Mstab howitzer. Units of the Dnepr group of troops defeated the manpower and equipment of the formations of the 23rd National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Vyshtarosavka and Debreyanadya, Dnepropetrovsk region. The losses of the Ukrainian Armed Forces amounted to up to 75 military personnel and 3 vehicles. In addition, the U.S.-made M142 MRs and U.S.-made M270 MLRS launchers, as well as the 122mm 2S1 Gvozdika self-propelled artillery mount, were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of groupings of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation defeated accumulations of enemy manpower and military equipment in 106 regions. Air defense systems shot down 54 unmanned aerial vehicles, 4 hammer-guided bombs made in France, as well as 10 MRS missiles made in the USA. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the following have been destroyed: 613 aircraft, 276 helicopters, 25,845 unmanned aerial vehicles, 529 anti-aircraft missile systems, 16,340 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,341 combat vehicles of multiple launch rocket systems, 10,491 field artillery and mortar guns, and also 22,567 units of special military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.